No smooth, Doug. No smooth. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Rethink Thing podcast. I am your host, Alexander Gergat, and I am happy to announce that I am now 1 week on Ozempic. The results may be noticeable, but some of the side effects may include paler skin and red hair. Just kidding. I had to take the piss out of it for a second. I am Will. I'm filling in for Alex as head chair, leaving my spot as co-main chair. He is visiting Spain right now, which I'm sure maybe he's watching live, maybe he's not. He just probably had a great experience at the 21 Pilots concert. If you're not privy to him, you might as well should be. He is a huge fan of the band. You know, in the Pickle Gallery tonight, we have our good friend, Ricky. And on the computer, we have Dougie Fresh.
What up?
Yeah,
all right. I think we officially broke the ice. This is a little bit weird without him, but we're going to make the best of it. Everybody tuning in, thanks for being here. On our docket today, isn't as heavy as usual weeks, but we have the upcoming NFL draft. You know, if you're privy to our Sunday show, Doug, Alex, and I, we like to talk about football during the season. Figure we might sprinkle it a little bit in the offseason, especially while it's starting to ramp up before the draft. Second, we're going to talk about the Ohio State football team visiting the White House to celebrate their national championship victory. Also, big Buckeye fans, which you all probably know. And last but not least, fun little tidbit story about some United Kingdom company, London company, I think that's where they're based out of, carved down a 500-year-old oak tree for reasons. I'm looking forward to hearing it because I'm sure it's stupid. It's probably stupid. They probably should have rethought that decision. But, all right, boys, kicking it off. It's the NFL draft. First time in 3 years that the Browns actually get a first-round pick. And in typical Browns fashion, it is a top 3 pick. Last time we actually got excited about it, it was the number 1 pick. So we're picking steady at 2. And I have thoughts on it, but I kind of want to get your guys' idea of who you think's going 2. And I guess give me 1, but I think that's kind of set in stone. So, Ricky, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm not in the office with the GMs and the owner. But if I was, and I could give them a little nudge, I would definitely say for the Cleveland Browns, we should pick Travis Hunter, and they should call me up to make that announcement for them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Dude, do you think they're going to do the thing? You know, when they always have like the first few picks, I feel like these teams know, right? Like, I feel like at least the top 5, probably top 10, no, but definitely top 5, top 3. They'll always have like the counter up there and they'll let it go like for like 4 or 5 minutes. It's like, you're not still thinking about this, are you? Like, you're not, no shot.
Or if only way it should change is like if you're getting a nice haul back and you can still stay in the first round.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, even for us as Browns, okay, I really want us to take Travis Hunter, but if we don't, and some team is desperate on draft day and wants to give like, you know, their next 3 3-year first rounds, I would think that's a good.
I doubt we'd get that much for the first. We'll probably get
just
their first round pick
hypothetically
the next year. That's for sure. But
I would, yeah, especially here's the thing. Here's where I'm at. I think,
but just hypothetically, if we did, it wouldn't be bad. You know, if it would make sense, certain teams. But I just hope we just stay there and take Travis.
You know, hypothetically, I would love that. I would love if 3 first rounders were offered for the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
I would take that.
Not even if we get their first round next year and we keep our first and they give us another second and a third. You know how draft goes. If they give us a good package,
I would want more than 1 first. I would want their first this year
at
and
least
next
2 years.
Yeah. Trade down in the first, get another. Hopefully, like a Herschel Walker situation where they just give, or a Ricky Williams, where it's like, here's 6 picks, take them. Like, that'd be amazing. I doubt anyone's doing that, but I am in agreement with you at 2. Don't overthink it. Don't draft the quarterback. Get Travis Hunter. You know, if he's even 3/4 of what they say he's going to be, you're going to get a solid player there. And no one's going to. And I don't want Browns fans, if you're tuning in, don't do the Trent Richardson thing where when you take the guy at 2 and everyone says, what a great pick. If you take Travis Hunter at 2, they're going to give our draft immediately an A. Even if the rest isn't all right, You're going to get an A. And that pick is going to get an A+. Don't do it if he doesn't work out in 5 years and he's already off the team
But
or whatever.
I have a lot of faith in Travis, man. Like,
I do
if
too.
you just think about how much ball Sanders just threw up there, he just made a football play. Like, he never I never seen him once went down to the level of the competition. You know what I mean? He always had to prove it. Like, he always trying to prove himself. And I like that drive that he has.
He seems like he seems like an odd kid, I'll admit.
Yeah, a nerdy kid. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like that.
Yeah, he seems like he strikes me as a kid who watches a lot of film, does a lot of that outside of the weight room and on the field work that's needed.
So I know for sure he's not going to be down driving 150 miles down Las Vegas Boulevard. You know what I mean? He's going to be at home chilling, watching anime. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would take that. I would take that. The way from ever since I know Travis Hunter on social media from Jackson State, he has never been the flashy kid. He has never been the one to be outside like me and Dubby, always outside. He never been that. You know what I mean?
Outside.
So I appreciate that he's like humble. He just works on his craft. He enjoys playing games and dressing up in onesies. I don't mind that. That's a very stable guy. All he wants is football and just be the greatest. He's focused on being the greatest. Who doesn't want that on their team? You never hear no story of Travis Hunter coming out as, oh, he's partying, he's shagging up with this, no controversy, other than his lady.
He does the opposite of partying, but he takes his girl to plenty of parties, it sounds like, which is the only thing about him I do not understand. One thing I don't, but I'm not going to hold that against him for the NFL. Like, I'm not going to hold that, like, drop him in the draft. There are so many worse stories and like worse like photographs that show up for these guys as they're about to leave, literally draft day. You know, it's like what do they call it? Like the October surprise for these guys is like
only way he should drop
the draft
if they do Warren Sapp to him. That's the only way. Or who was it? Tunsley, the left tackle face mask. Yeah. That's the only way, and I don't see that happening.
What's up?
Alex wants to know what's with the girlfriend thing.
The girlfriend thing. Okay, so Ricky, take this one over because it is. I don't want to screw it up or say something. I would say something out of pocket. It's so
okay. You're gonna have to pick it up though. But like they have a social media YouTube. You know, their YouTube couple. She have said during their mukbangs and stuff like you was never my type, and there's stuff like when they were together. There's a picture of her in the bed with other men. She was a video vixen. You know what I mean? And
this is right before Travis before he won the Heisman too. Like this was like in between like the end of the regular season and like the bowl games. Like this all came out in like December area.
And Travis hit her up in the DM. She was like, "Oh, I didn't like you, you know, so I didn't hit you back up. My brother told me." She literally said, "My brother told me who you were, and that's why I replied." It's like,
dude, it reminds me so much. It's not exactly a 1-for-1, but like a Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith kind of situation. It's like she's just like finding a reason. She's like putting him down in such a weird way. It's like, I don't know.
In the last year,
like, he like hoarded me or whatever, but it did not come off like that at all.
Yeah.
And then it only got worse. And she only kept talking. Like really. In
the last year, it got so bad for them, they had to disable their social media. So that's the only thing that's distracting for Travis. So if Browns take him at second, we have a very humble, stable, football-minded person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he seems like a ball hawk funny enough, it's like he's a ball hawk in certain ways on offense, but also on defense. Like he's always around the ball.
And the thing is, he had great mentorship from Deion Sanders, one of the greats, right? And if that don't give you an ego boost to act brash and everything, and he never done that.
Yeah,
you just want to go fishing,
especially considering too, like the last week, like they had like his jersey retired along with Shadur Sanders, and you don't hear much about. Did you not know that?
Wait, they had their jerseys
at Colorado.
retired? They're so young.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, their numbers are retired. Like
What?
no one can ever wear 2
That
and 11
is
or whatever.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
absurd. They haven't even done anything with their professional career yet.
I'll
Like,
give
all they've
Hunter
done
credit.
Not
is
even
No.
banter.
Here's where I'll come to Hunter's defense.
I give it
am
a
going to criticize
turn.
a little bit. I'm going to give
That's
Hunter a
crazy,
little bit
though.
of credit.
You-
Hunter, he is a Heisman Trophy winner from Colorado. I do not agree with either of their numbers being retired before they make the pros, just because that's
Before
so
they've
early.
even been
That's like
drafted. Like, they
no one
haven't
does
even
shit like that.
been drafted.
Like it's not even the draft part. It's like that's guys. Literally, by the time their entire career is over, wherever it ended, that's when it like the discussion is: should we retire their numbers? The fact that Hunter's, I do believe it's someday his number would have been retired, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I don't know in what reality though Shadur Sanders' numbers gets retired, like at all.
The dad, you know what I mean? You gotta have a
You know
Sanders
what
up
it
there. You
is.
gotta
I
have
know
a
it is.
Sanders up there. You know what I mean? From 1-11 to what 4 and something to like 7 and something. Like you gotta have the dad.
Yeah.
You gotta have a Sanders name up there. I guess.
I think they said like
It's
in 2
from
years at
hey,
Colorado.
if Shiloh Sanders would have got his retired number 2, then we would have been. Then we would have had it. You know what I mean? But
I don't get it. I it's not that I don't get it. I do get it. I do get it. What bothers me is I get it, and it's just like such a dumb reason.
Is
Because like
Sanders
getting
coming
back to the draft, like it's like Shadur. It's like, okay, at first it was like, oh, Brown's at 2. That the instant April quick, his draft stock has just declined. And I don't think it has nothing to do with the number getting retired. It has everything to do with the player himself. And I think he's a good quarterback. I think of like other draft classes, especially like when Browns needed quarterbacks. I'm gonna bring up my guy Baker. I'm gonna bring up Baker. I think of when Baker's draft
I love
class.
Baker.
I'm talking about the draft class, not just him himself. I'm talking about him, Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Josh Rosen, which I never believed in Josh Rosen, but Josh Rosen was one of them. I'd put Shadur Sanders like just above Rosen in that conversation. I'd have
no,
Josh Allen, I'd have Lamar Jackson, I'd have Sam Darnold, and I'd have Baker ahead of him.
And Lamar was the last.
No.
Taken.
I would have. Okay. No, I would have. Just because of what Darnold did last year for Minnesota, that's the only reason he's getting a boost. Okay.
No.
Behind Darnold.
I'm talking about 2018, like going into that draft. Like
I would have him third. I'll have him third.
You'd have him third. I'm not talking about like where they're at now. I'm talking about I'm thinking of like in the class itself. Like the conversation around was it always came down to it's going to be Baker or Darnold 1 and 2. And then it was we don't know if Lamar is going to really be a quarterback, but if that's the conversation, then
Lamar. We knew Lamar wanted to be a quarterback. People didn't want him to be a quarterback.
Right. It's just if the NFL teams viewed him that way. But I would have gone into this draft of like, if that's a conversation around Lamar, like give me him over Shadur. Because you get him lower in the draft than like Shadur. More speed. And Lamar was a good thrower in college. I have no idea why GMs really thought they were going to try him at running back. I never got that.
There is trying to acquire him.
Yeah. I guess bad comparisons. And nobody thought Michael Vick would happen again. Instead, we got a better Michael Vick, which is saying a lot because Michael Vick was great.
So question, what do you think about the first? Do you think Cam Ward is going to be anything for Tennessee?
It's Cam Ward, Tennessee.
Cam Ward. Ward.
It's Cam Ward, Tennessee, or whoever wants to trade up to get Cam Ward at 1. That's who's going 1.
So you don't.
I think that'd be the safest bet in any sports because like Tennessee needs a quarterback. Like they're not putting well.
So you don't wait. So you as well gave up on Will Levis.
Yes, yeah, I did. Okay. Surprisingly, I've given up on Will Levis. I've moved past Will Levis as a quarterback in the NFL. I think it's Cam Ward. I think it's going to be Travis Hunter. I have no idea third. Probably Abdul Carter, but third is who? New England. Doug, if you have it up,
I had this ready.
Giants.
I do have it handy.
It's the Giants. I can see the Giants taking Abdul
Titans,
Carter.
Browns, Giants, Patriots, Jags.
I could see them taking because they're pretty solid at receiver. I could see them taking an edge rusher. I have nothing against Abdul Carter, but if we're not taking Hunter at 2, I would totally be on board with trading down in the first.
All right, one more draft person I'm interested in. Aston Genty. How you feel like he's going to play out?
He's going to leave somewhere between 8 to 12. I think he's. Or actually, wait, Saints at 6.
So you don't think he's going to go 6 for the Raiders?
I think he might go either. I think he's going to end up on the Raiders or the Saints.
So how you feel like his career will play out?
I think he's going to do just fine. I think if he's everything he should be, and again, Trent Richardson, he will haunt me to the day I die as a Browns fan. like just that that caliber, but I think he's that caliber of like a college tier running back that it's like, no, he's ready. He's probably ready going in the last year. And he's a multifaceted back where he could come out of the backfield. He's your typical, he seems to be your first or third down running back.
So who you think should take him? Should you think the Jags should take him in the 5th or the Raiders should take him in the 6th? Where do
I
you
think
he
the
lands
Raiders,
better?
I fully think the Raiders are eyeing him. And if they got whiff that someone's going to take him at 5, they move up. I really think he's going to be an Oakland Raider. Well, not
Okay.
Oakland, but Las Vegas Raider. Because they got Pete Carroll there. You know, he kind of gives off a little bit of a Marshawn vibe. Like he's pretty low key. Dude, he showed up to the Heisman ceremony. Everybody else is decked out in suits. And I get it. You're in New York. It's the Heisman. You know, you're up for it. Dude, he showed up in like his Boise State like tracksuit, like jumpsuit and whatever. I was like, that's him, dude. Like that'd be Marshawn Lynch. Like he gave me like Marshawn vibes, like to its T. I think Pete Russell, because now he's with the Raiders. I
feel like
he's looking at him like this is a guy I want. This is a guy.
I feel like the
just got
Jags
Geno.
need him more.
They just got
because-
Geno from Seattle too. So
Yep.
he's back
But
with
the Jags might take him. I feel like the Jags will sweep right under the Raiders.
They have
and
ETN.
take him.
They have ETN. I'm already out on him. They have Travis Etienne.
But ETN he's been
I
in the
know.
league for
I get it.
like
I
8
get
years.
It. They drafted him in the top 10, and he's not bad. They're on a
He's
bad
not
team,
bad,
but
but
he's not bad.
Okay.
So
I ain't
they're
gonna
not
get down
view,
on running backs because
they're gonna. I think I'm out on. Yeah, I'm out on Jacksonville at him. I don't see him taking him. I see him. I do agree with you. I think he's going to go to Oakland. But a team I'd love to see him on is the Saints because they just run like such a wild offense. They always get their running backs involved. Like you'd be like Alvin Kamara.
So I love that you bring up the Saints. So back to our boy Sanders.
Mhm.
So who do you think the Saints should take, Dart or Sanders?
Oh, wait, where are they drafting, Doug? Pull that up.
9 or something like that.
Saints are drafting
9 or 8.
So Sanders.
You want the 9th pick, the number 9 pick? I would take Sanders over Dart. I would take Sanders over Dart because I don't view Dart as that high up. I don't view Sanders necessarily either, but Sanders would go in the top 10 before Jackson Dart would go. For sure. For sure. I see at most 3 quarterbacks in the first round. And that's if someone trades up. If someone trades up to take Dart or Milrow in the 20s. But this is going to be a weird draft. It's going to be a really odd draft for quarterbacks.
Yeah, because I don't see a lot of. Okay, we're a Buckeyes fan. Where would our boy Will Howard land, or where would we want him to land?
I have no idea where he'd land, but he's going to go somewhere in the 3rd and 4th round.
You think that?
I think
I could see 3rd.
Though.
I thought 4th seemed a little late because I think I like him. I really like him.
We're biased, but I
That's
think
true.
He's definitely here's the thing is, I could see him being taken in the 4th because he just feels like a 3rd and 4th round quarterback. Like he's not gonna be in the top 4 quarterbacks taken. He's probably not gonna be in the top 5, maybe the 6th quarterback taken in the draft because I'm looking at Ward, obviously Sanders, not before those two. He wouldn't be 3rd. It'd be Milrow or Dart. It's either the kid from Alabama or Jackson Dart. And of those two that I just named, I doubt a team pulls the trigger on him before one of those two. So I see him being the 5th kid taken. This is just such an odd draft. And free agency has been very good for quarterbacks this year that I think a lot of teams that have an immediate need for a quarterback, you're going to see them take them right when they can. And then after that, it's, all right, we already know this kid's like there's a high probability that if the Browns say moved up into the 1st round or even stayed until 33 to take Milrow or Dart, because I see Sanders and Ward being gone by then. Unless someone trades up to get Milrow or Dart earlier, I definitely see the Browns taking them and having them sit behind Flacco or whatever the other guy's the second string's name is.
Will, did the Browns say Will Howard is not a franchise quarterback? Did they say that?
I don't know, but that totally wouldn't. I totally would not put it past Antonio AB, not Antonio Brown. The wrong AB, our AB. I definitely see his brilliant genius mind at quarterback saying Will Howard is objectively not a franchise quarterback.
Wasn't that a rumor like Kirk Cousins was a sign-in because he didn't want the same thing to happen to him in Atlanta?
Yes, I totally believe
with the Browns. So he won't sign with the Browns as of yet because I don't know if they would take Will Howard. or like a
No.
quarterback, any quarterback.
No,
Like any
Kirk
quarterback.
Cousins wants to sign and be the quarterback for 3 years on a team. That's why he went to Atlanta.
Mm.
Atlanta was smart, and they drafted Penix, and they
Yeah.
were like, all right, we're going to see how Kirk does. And they're in a division where, like, I mean, hell, Baker's the king of that division, and they win at best 10, at best 11 games. So, like, it's a very winnable division if you have a competent quarterback. None of those other teams do. And Baker's competent enough to where, yeah, he'll give you 10 wins. He did it for us. And
Hell yeah.
give you 11 wins. Once
I
you
fucks
win
with
that
Baker,
division,
man.
once you win that division, but what I'm saying is it's not like I think of like our
Oh,
division, right? Like
Yeah,
our
it's not a
division,
tough division. You got the Panthers.
he's got the
You know what I'm saying?
Panthers,
Atlanta.
Saints, and Atlanta. That's their division.
Not
That's
a tough division at all. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
wish
not
the Browns
cutthroat at all.
we still have the hardest division in the NFL.
Yes.
AFC, like our division is still the
AFC
hardest.
North.
And they
North,
gave
yep.
Kirk Cousins, Atlanta, a lot of money thinking, oh, he would be on par to win us 10, 11 games. And then they got through the season. He's like, he's not. He's off an ACL injury. Sure, we dumped a lot of money in it, but we just drafted a kid in Penix, and I like Penix. I think Penix is nice, especially for that division. Okay. He's not in a division like with Mahomes or in the AFC North or in Buffalo's, where it's like you have two really good quarterbacks in it already, let alone if another team has a third.
You either play in a dome or nice weather.
Right. And in Baker's division in the NFC South, it's Baker. Couldn't even tell you the Saints or the Panthers quarterback's Bryce. The Panthers are the Panthers. Okay. And it's like, then you have the Falcons, and the Falcons, I would say, are the second best team. They thought Kirk Cousins at his age. I think the ACL injury, I just think at his age, it's like Rodgers. It's like, that's a hard one to come back to. I mean, much love to Tom Brady. He never had a serious injury like that, you know? Like,
That's true, man. They actually had an offensive line that protected him.
yeah, and like so once you get to that age, and especially too, it's like when I bring up Baker, it's like Baker's our age, like he's in his prime. Like for Tampa Bay, it's like if he has another good year here, we're gonna give him 4 more years. We're just gonna give him another contract. The other 3 teams in that division, that they don't know, so yeah. I could see 3 of those pulling the trigger on a quarterback, and I could see them trading up to get your Shadur or Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart. Now, when it comes back to Will Howard, no team is going to take a shot on him in the first and second. Maybe in the third.
feel like he's gonna fall to the Steelers for some reason. I don't know why. Will Howard. Some way,
that would be a Pittsburgh pick. Funny enough, that would be a Pittsburgh pick, and they would still win 9 games because they always win 9 games.
I'd be so mad if he went to Pittsburgh.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too. And I just have a gut feeling like some way, somehow.
No, you say that, and I can believe it. I believe it.
He feels like a Pittsburgh kid, but I think that's because he feels like a Cleveland kid. Like he feels like he's like Northern Belt kid. Like he's around the lakes. Like he feels like a good old boy. Like that would come here and just like fit in. And it's like, is he that great? No, but like, goddamn, he wins. Like that would be his thing. I did see rumors though that, well, I wouldn't say rumors. I just see Browns Twitter really saying like they're afraid that Pittsburgh's going to take Shadur Sanders. They think that they're going to be the team that takes him because I mean, at the moment they don't have a quarterback. I'm pretty sure
Aaron Rodgers kind of indicated last week on Pat McAfee's show that
I thought he was going
there.
If he does go there, it's for 1 year. You think Pittsburgh is going to put up with his attitude at his age, like that diva mentality?
2 years. Yeah, listen, he's got man.
No good year. He's done. He's done. I'm out. Kudos to him in his career. I mean, his accomplishments. I'm not a fan of him personally, but as a football player, his accomplishments stand for himself. That injury, Aaron was nothing. He felt like nothing close to last year. And I know people are going to be like, oh, it's offensive line and all that stuff. You're Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. Like, I can't think of like a lot of the greats, that finish like Tom Brady. A lot of them finish like how Rodgers is, just ask Brett Favre, like it's not an unusual thing. He's 40.
Yeah.
He's older. Like for his mind to not be in it as much as it was at his age now, I totally get it. Now, I think he has the same mindset he has now that he did when he was 33. The only difference is he was a better athlete then. And that's fine. That's father time. It catches up to us all. I just can't see Pittsburgh putting up with that diva mentality. New York was like, no, we're done. They did it over phone. Actually, no, they didn't do it over phone. Excuse me.
No,
I
he came in
misquoted.
for 15
He
minutes.
flew to there, and they were like, "Nah, man, not you anymore, Aaron." He left the woods on an ayahuasca trip just to be told, "Not you, not you." Sorry, brother.
Nah, the dog said he dealing with some personal stuff, man.
Yeah, and I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. Like at his age, like
Yeah, I know. Like, what? I
But
still
like
have
I could
faith in
see,
him.
like if I'm Pittsburgh, I am not looking at Aaron Rodgers to be the filler quarterback. I would definitely be like, take a shot. Why not? You know, like
If I
at
was
that
Pittsburgh, I'd give him
point,
2 years and get Will Howard.
yeah, like even if you don't take Shadur, like if you just take a quarterback, I just see them moving up to take Shadur because they don't have Aaron Rodgers signed. Like they don't have him signed. And truthfully, here's the annoying thing too. If you're him and you see them draft Shadur Sanders, do you want to go to Pittsburgh for a year? Knowing that kid's right behind you and they're going to want Showtime's kid playing.
Isn't that why he left Green Bay? Because they drafted, was it Jordan Love?
No, he was there for a few years. I think that was more of like, I just think that was Aaron's
The
attitude.
GM say it's just the end of the road.
Yeah, I think they got tired of his attitude, and Jordan Love's, he looked to be doing pretty good, and he's turned out great. He's turned out better than I think most people anticipated. And like kudos to Green Bay. They've only had 3 quarterbacks my whole lifetime, so they must do a great job analyzing who the next guy is going to be.
Yeah,
they would have drafted another kid while Rodgers was still there.
They've done their 3 versus our Browns have had. What are we up to now? Like
we've done 3 in a month.
30.
We've done 3 in a month, dude, and none of them know their names except on that long jersey that some Clevelander keeps adding every year, which he's about to probably add another.
Dude, we did 3 quarterbacks in one game one time, if you remember.
I probably
my first Browns quarterback when I came to America was Charlie Fry. I'll never forget my dog.
No, that's not a bad
Charlie
one.
Fry,
that's not a bad one. That's such a throwback one.
Like that was my first Browns quarterback.
Alex, you are absolutely right. I love it. I love it. It's probably 1 a.m. in Spain right now, and all he's thinking about is big daddy Joe Flacco coming back into this franchise. And you know some idiot reporter, like I'm not gonna say her name, an MKC. She's gonna put out a report saying, "Oh, there's a quarterback battle between him and." I cannot think of his name. Who was the guy? Kenny Pickett. I can't think of his name. That's why he shouldn't start. That's why he shouldn't start over Flacco.
Wait.
That's my 2 cents.
Where's Kenny Pickett at?
He's here. With us.
He's here, exactly.
Why?
Yeah, our quarterback.
Probably because we did need quarterbacks at the time.
Yeah, dude, our quarterback room is Kenny Pickett and Flacco.
Actually, technically Deshaun Watson. He's technically still here.
Yeah, but he's not playing.
Damn.
Dude, I hope they make him show up to meetings. It's like you still got to show up to work, man.
Damn, I don't like Kenny Pickett, but hey, that was a good draft talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be exciting for the Browns. It is nice that it's a draft in first time in 3 years where there's like excitement, discussion. I hate the word excitement for it because I wouldn't say I'm excited for it. I'm annoyed. Because again, we're in the top 5 picks again, just like when we first started this whole rigmarole back in 2018. So now less than a decade later, we're back to that. But I'm excited that we have an off season with stuff to look forward to because the last 3, it's been such a daunting thing knowing that we're going to put Deshaun back out there. We're going to see him have absolutely nothing in the tank. Nothing's going to
I just gotta say this. Every day Tony Busby gets a new client, the less I believe those 23 people against Watson. I just gotta put that out there, okay? Tony Busby.
I'll put it out there for that. I'll concede on that. But what I will not concede on is the fact that Deshaun Watson was awful. He's trash.
He's trash. Yeah, he's trash.
God, do you know how vindicated? Well, you brought him up before, but like we won't get into the whole thing. But like Shannon Sharp would have been if like Deshaun was good. Like if Deshaun did really well, he did
Kobe
so
mode. Like if Deshaun Watson went like when Kobe had that trial going and went ham, bro, we'd have forgot about it. Shit,
oh my God. Wouldn't have cared.
There's nothing to remember about.
We would have retired his jersey before they did Shadur's and Hunter's. We would have been like, that thing's already up there. Right next to Jim Brown is Deshaun Watson's number if he would have won it for us.
It's true.
It would have been awful. It would have been awesome for us, but awful for the rest of the world.
I would have accepted Deshaun's jersey being retired if the Browns had won a Super Bowl. That's a deal I'm willing to make with literally the devil.
Want to know? Actually,
he's the devil, and I'll make that deal with Deshaun, but he couldn't do it.
Actually, you want to know what we should do? What the Browns should do is they're not going to do it now, but like if they do make this new stadium, make like a graveyard section for like jerseys that like we despise, like we never want to see even the fans wear these jerseys again, and it's in like a vault. That would be great. Have like a Watson jersey down there. It's like anybody you know in town, see anybody in a Watson jersey, you'd be like, that guy right there, he's got to go. He's not allowed in here. He's not allowed in here. They should do that. They should do that. That would make it more fun when we do really bad and these quarterbacks do really. And then you'd see like again like a Charlie Fry or a Jeff Garcia, like a Jeff Garcia jersey. Zia. Oh my God, like that would be funny. Then because then we'd be like, oh no, he's cool. He's bad, but we accept that one.
What's the Anderson guy we had? He was trying.
Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson. Our one bright year with Josh Gordon, who is like lit on the entire football field, just going off.
Dude, don't forget about my boy Hoyer. Love Hoyer. He went to St. Ed's, Cleveland boy. Love that. I thought he
was St. Ignatius.
Or Ignatius.
If I see a Brady Quinn jersey, I'm uppercutting you though.
Why Brady Quinn?
Yeah, really.
Because look, I had so much hope for Brady Quinn. You know what I mean? He had the look, he had the moxie. You know what I mean? He had the arm.
Yeah, he did.
But we broke him. Just like every other quarterback, we broke him. And then like Tim Couch was supposed to be an amazing quarterback, but we had an expansion team. We threw him out there, and poor dude got wrecked. Like we are just a quarterback graveyard. You mentioned needing like a cemetery of jerseys. We need to just hang our own back there. We don't need anyone else. We just all of our quarterbacks because they're all dead.
Dude, do you know what draft week would be like, right? For like if we did have like that graveyard, they'd be asking these quarterbacks if they thought like they'd be going to, or like, hey, what would you think if like if your jersey ended up in that? Just for all of them to be like, not me, dude, not me. Dude, you quarterback in the Browns. I'm that guy. Just for it to end up there like 5 years later.
It's me, bro. It's me, bro. I'm him.
Every year,
I'm him.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I'm the savior. God,
never been.
All right.
But last thing I gotta say.
All right, pop off.
The draft and opening day should be a national holiday in America.
I do agree.
Day after the Super Bowl should be.
I don't know if they do the draft. I don't know if they do the draft. They do like a half day for the draft, but the Super Bowl and opening day, totally in on that. Totally in on that.
Goodell said it like, if they had one more season to the NFL, one more regular season game, then more than likely the Super Bowl will fall on the Sunday, and the next day is President's Day. So
but most of us don't get that day off.
I do, Doug.
Damn, I don't get no day off.
Every year, government employee. We all don't suck from the teat of government.
It's not about us. It's about the people. It's
about we, but I'm gonna get mine. That's all I know. All right. On to the next topic. We're gonna say in the football realm here. The Ohio State football team, most recent national championships, the greatest college football playoff run in history, too, by the way. Not to like toot their own horn. They've already done that enough because they got to visit the White House. Yes, the current administration invited them to the White House, which I think is pretty cool because I would just like to be invited to the White House. I don't even care who's occupying it. I just want to go and check it out. Not like stand around it like a tourist and get like a photo, like actually walk up there, shake his or hers hand and kind of get like a little run around tour. And they could just kind of toot my own horn a bit because I guess that's why I'm here. So they had a good time. You know, the current president, the Orange Man, gave some celebratory speeches about the team itself, Coach Ryan Day, and a couple individual players. We don't have any of the clips on ready. I guess that's what happens when you get the skeleton crew. But Jack Sawyer, Will Howard, and Jeremiah Smith each got personally honored by President Trump in a very nice speech talking about their season and their, hopeful careers and their endeavors. He called Jack Sawyer something really cool. He's a Columbus kid. And he said, Jack Sawyer, and it's movie straight out of a movie. And everybody probably starts thinking of like Jack Sparrow or Captain Jack Sawyer because that's what he's called. talked about his big play against Texas, brought Will Howard up. Funny enough, like Trump's a tall guy himself. He even looked at Will Howard. He's like, man, you're big. You're a big kid. Called him a good looking kid. Said he's going to be so rich some days. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's having a good time. But the big one that caused a lot of controversy was when he brought up Jeremiah Smith. He brought up Ryan Day, talking about, man, we got this kid. He might be the best kid to ever come here at this college, not just at the wide receiver position, but just in general. He's a young kid. I think he's 19. I don't even think he's 20. 19-year-old kid, absolutely electric for the Buckeyes the entire season. Did great in the postseason and had the game-sealing catch in the national championship game. President Trump asked him down, said he wanted to shake his hand, and he shook his hand. And that took the internet by storm. People were pissed that he shook his hand. And here's where I'm at on that. If I'm an individual and I get invited to the White House by the current president of the United States, whether I voted for the individual or not, I would jump at the bit to take up that honor, which is what this was. It wasn't about the administration. It was about the kids and that football team and that organization's honor as national champions. The fact that you have individuals going at them in a very hateful way, like they were being really vindictive towards Jeremiah Smith. And of the three, definitely vindictive of Jeremiah Smith. I don't get it. This had nothing to do with politics. I have no idea what Jeremiah Smith's politics are, and I don't care. I don't care what Ryan Day's are, what Jack Sawyer's are, what Will Howard's are, what any player on that team's political position is. They were there to honor their accomplishment. And I want to bring it now to Doug and Ricky to kind of get your thoughts on it. But I, for one, as an individual, a former athlete, a former competitor, if my team ever got honored by the administration to go visit the White House and then be brought in by the president themselves for a tour of the White House, I would remember that day probably for the rest of my life, because I know there's probably no other day in the rest of my life where I get invited back to go and do just that. Dude, Ricky, what do you think?
I agree with you though, Will, because I'm a history man.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go, like you said, not be the tourist that you stand outside that fence so you don't get to see anything. No, I want to walk through those halls. Like, how many people actually get to walk through those halls nowadays? It used to be a public building open to anyone.
Yep.
No. So how many people really get that chance?
And it's funny you bring it up, like the history portion of it. It's like, I remember when Trump was on Joe Rogan before the election, Joe asked him like, hey, what was that first day like? And Trump really went in, and you could tell he's a history guy too. Like, he's got like a fondness for American history. He really got into talking about just seeing the different sections of the White House and the Oval Office and all the different rooms and the pageantry, and kind of like, you could tell that really, like, again, Donald Trump has seen so much of the world. He's seen, and all these other individuals that end up becoming president have. They've seen so much, but for them to show up and all, and I'm sure they all, even Sleepy Joe, probably had the same kind of like, and he'd been it before. Even had like that whole like kind of like, wow, man, like this is what it's really, man, like this is, I've seen parts of this building that I've been here before just on business, never even seen before. So for these kids to get that opportunity, I mean, like, how could you not like just be like, man, that's got to be pretty cool?
Yeah, that's very true, because like if I get invited, if me and my fiance get invited to the White House right now for any reason, she doesn't roll on that side. She don't even mess with Trump. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a nice tux. She gonna get a lovely dress, and we're gonna pop out and show niggas. You feel me? We gonna pop out.
Oh yeah, gotta pop
because
out for President
it's
Trump.
not about who the president is. And then again, it is that you're showing your respect to the country you're living in, and you get to see history. You're walking in the halls like of so many great people, not even that serve as president, but just like walking those halls overall. Like, so you can actually put it like close to 1 million, more millions of people have been through those halls, bro. Those halls speak. Like, you look at a picture,
just think of the history.
Yeah, like it's mind-boggling that you wouldn't want to do it. Why is the division? I hated when Trump became president at first. Everything became politics. Like they start politics in sports, ever start commentating on politics. And then his first year, I don't remember who won the championship. And they're like, you're going to the White
Dodgers.
House?
It was the Dodgers. The Dodgers, I know, but one year didn't go.
I think it was it was LeBron. It was LeBron. It was the Cavs. It was the Cavs.
The Cavs or the Warriors? Because I remember
2016.
No, that was Obama.
That was Obama.
Obama was in the office because they gave him the Obama. They gave him the T-shirt jersey.
Okay, so then it
was the Warriors.
So then it was Golden. Yeah, because Obama told JR to keep his shirt on. You're right. So it was Golden State, and they were like, "We're not going."
Yep.
And I don't get it. Like it's a history. Why mess up tradition? Bush was in there. People hated Bush, but people still went. Like, why mess up tradition?
You mentioned respecting stuff, dude. They were all wearing nice suits too. Did you see them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you go to the White House, you're dressing up nice.
And then, if Jabari Smith didn't go down and shake Trump's hand, all the whites and all the blacks would have been like, "Who raised him? Why didn't he go shake his hand? He don't have no manners. Where his parents and da 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 da." So like, there's no winning between just showing respect and decorum and manners. You don't get no grace for that nowadays. It's like you're just supposed to pick a side, die on that side, and not experience nothing. Like, you get invited to the White House, I don't care who you are, what side you're on, who's in the presidency, go.
And that's the thing, like if
unless
I'm
it's a dictator.
If I'm Ohio State and I'm these kids, I'd want to go out there and win it again and be like, dude, I'm going to make sure I give him a hug this time just to piss y'all off. Not only did I in my back-to-back national champ, I'm giving him a hug. And that's like very specific. That's like it's so Trump, but just like an in general thing. Like, you're gonna get this mad that
it was very effed up as well that JD Vance fucking dropped the fucking trophy as an Ohio native.
Yeah, I got you.
Bravo, Vance. Dude, come on, bruv. Do better.
Dude, honestly, he might be death incarnate, because you have that, and then he was like
the
last living person to talk to the Pope. So he might honestly be.
He killed the Pope.
He might just, dude. He's like that meme. He's the Grim Reaper meme. There's just like doors with like names and like events, and like he just shows up right before all these things happen.
I hope this is not a curse from Vance to the Buckeye Nation, where we don't, you know what I'm saying? I better not, bro, because like, as Ohioans, we revoke your Ohioanship. You know what I'm saying? That he can't come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's the Ohio. Funny enough, actually, speaking of Ohio kid, they had a photo with the trophy. Him, Vance, obviously, Trump, Vance, and Vivek were in the Oval Office with the trophy, and they took a photo. And then, like, obviously, they took a photo with the team as well. But I did see that photo. And funny enough, I remember I didn't see the Vance thing for a minute. I saw it, obviously, before the show. But I saw so much about the players, right? I didn't even know that Vance did that. And then when I saw it, I was like, that's got to be fake news.
I heard about it. I heard about it because everybody, like, all right, let me give you an example. Like, the Breakfast Club is just trying to point it out, like, yo, look how you fuck it up. You know what I mean? Because they're mostly Democrat side, but like, they're just like, look how you fuck it up. Like,
Charlemagne's gonna die on that hill.
Yeah, but still, it's kind. I'm saying, as a Buckeye fan, like, come on, bro. You're Ohio native. Why you fuck it up, bro?
Dude, I guarantee you, he had no idea the trophy could like break into pieces. Yeah, I had no clue.
But you're a Buckeye native. You asked the president to go to the national game with you. You should know that the trophy can be whole by itself. Come on, man. Dude, your state won this shit.
I wish Trump did like something funny when he did that. Like, remember when that woman, like when COVID was really going on, and she was like, I had a fever today, and he was like, oh, and he like kind of like walked away from the camera. I wish he did that when he saw JD do that. Like, not my guy, not mine, not right here.
Does anyone know what was the food served? Was it McDonald's again? Was it a nice spread of Big
Dude,
Macs?
I hope it was, because if I was at the White House, I would be so hyped. I'd be like, this is the best McDonald's I've ever had.
I think a McChicken with a filet fish sandwich.
Coke. They give me the Coke from 100 years ago. That's
like,
what I'm
I would not
here.
be mad if I was eating McDonald's because, first of all, you're eating McDonald's in the White House and it was brought to you by the president. Like, the president's like, this is my favorite meal. Enjoy with me. It's like, hell yeah. Dude, I don't care who you are or what we're eating.
Dude, imagine if you served them like McDonald's and RFK was like, that's all right, and all that. Like, just like losing it when he like rolls it out.
Red 2 is in there. You can't have it. Come on now.
No.
But hey, we can't skip over RIP to the Pope, man. Let's have a 3-second moment of silence for the Pope. All right. I don't know who's Catholic, but we got to pay our respects.
That's what we call a TV timeout in the business, folks. But yeah, I don't know. This like whole topic, and again, I don't know if I'd be more interested in talking about it if it wasn't Ohio State, but I think the fact that it was Ohio State, because here's the thing, like I saw like so much backlash from like Ohio State fans at Jeremiah Smith about it. Like they were like so pissed about it. And I'm like, this is a 19-year-old kid who a year ago was in high school, is now a national champion. And now the president's like, I want to shake his hand.
He's a dog, bro. Jamar. Like, I can't even say it, but
if he was in the draft right now, speaking on it, I would take him over 100. I would take him over Travis Hunter. I would.
Facts. Because he's a natural receiver, and his ball making skills, ball after catch, like he is phenomenal.
I was like, show up when you need to show up. For the next decade. I already know. I just got Jamar Chase again. We have 2 of them in our division. Like I wouldn't even hesitate. That'd be the quickest call. And the Browns are on the clock, and the pick is in. Like that's how quick it would be if it was Jeremiah Smith. Like insane.
Don't you hate that though? Like they know their picks and just let us wait.
Oh, they just let you. They just let you, and you know, Goodell tells them to do that. He's like, no,
commercial.
He's like, this would be over in 30 minutes. This would be over so quick. But yeah, I mean, like back to the Wild. It's like, Doug, I love the point you brought up, like just the history of being in there. You know, like just thinking of like the individuals. Like it burnt down at one point. Like this is a building
of 1812.
Yeah, this is burnt down at one point, been rebuilt. It's over 200 years zone. Obviously, they've renovated it and like they've added snipers to the top of the building because you probably need those.
Bunker underneath the White House.
Definitely a bunker. Definitely bunker guy. Yeah, they definitely didn't have that in 1812. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's just like to kind of go after the kids. And again, I'm saying kids, and they're young men. Like they're legal adults, but still, like these are kids in college. Jeremiah Smith, he can't even drink. He could vote. He could drive. Can't drink. For 2 years. He'll be in the NFL by the time he can do that. But it just, to me, it's one of those like, can we, and Ricky, you mentioned it too, back when like Bush was president, there were people who didn't like Bush. There were people who loved Bush. I didn't hear of any teams back then across the board saying no for any political reasons. It was an honor, and it should be received as an honor. You know,
facts.
People, regular people, normal people would jump at the bit to just get a tour of the White House, walk through the Oval Office once, even if it's just a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And for most of these kids, it probably is. You know, the only other time they're going back probably is if they win a Super Bowl or a World Series or an NBA championship or a WNBA championship. You know, I don't know why else you'd like, dude. Okay, real question. Do MLS champions go to the White House? Does the MLS champions go to the White House?
I never heard of it.
How can you Google that?
I never heard of it. I never seen.
I'm pretty sure WNBA champions have been to the White House.
Yep.
Yes. I definitely know that.
WNBA, yeah. But they did during Trump. Like, well, of course, messing up tradition.
Oh, so the 2023. The 2023 MLS Cup champion, the Columbus Crew, visited the White House in September 2024. So they have gone. I don't know so this year, often, but
so the winner this year will go in 2025, probably
because
that was 23's winner. They went in 24. Okay,
Columbus Crew also
and Columbus Crew. That's great. Go Ohio. Go Buckeyes. Go 21 Pilots. But yeah, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I don't get why. I don't like. We talk about it all the time every week in here. Why the division and like how like irrational it kind of comes off. But at the end of the day, here's the thing: it's not like they went to the White House to honor the administration. The administration invited them there to honor them. Like, this is for the kids and Ryan Day and the coaches and the University of Ohio State or whichever city wins a championship or whichever university wins a championship. I don't get why it's got to turn into this, like, how dare you? Like, I lost so much respect to you for doing that. It's like, you're a loser typing on your computer. You probably can't hit a 70-mile-per-hour fastball. You probably can't catch a 15-yard out route. You probably can't drive through the hip, lower your hips and drive through, make a tackle. Can't do none of that. And you're going to go after this kid who's a generational athlete who probably, like, I guarantee you Jeremiah Smith's parents, regardless how they voted, were damn proud to see him shake the president's hand for being a national champion.
It's not even about the specific athlete. It's just about people want something to complain about. Mm-hmm. Like, let tradition be tradition. They're trying to disrupt everything. And it's probably just the echo chamber of somebody and somebody else pick it up. And now it's a thing. Like, when we start, like, not giving an F what those people think and just letting shit like this slide, the less they will give attention to stuff like this. You know what I mean? Because it's tradition. It doesn't matter who's in there. It doesn't matter what they're like. Even during the time of war.
Yes.
Visit the White House. Like, let tradition be tradition and keep the sports and politics separate. Meaning, if they do visit the White House, that doesn't have nothing to do with that administration policies or nothing. They're just doing the traditional, being invited to the White House, seeing in the White House for the first time or the second time if they're back-to-back champs like the Browns going to be one day.
That's when the president is just encased in a globe, and that's just it. It's just the president's head.
Have some faith, William. Yeah. Have some faith, Sir William.
Listen, I'm telling you, I'm bringing it back. I have no excitement for this NFL draft, but I got a lot to say about it. But it is an interesting point you brought up, like, even during, like, not just it being tradition, but, like, even in wartime. So think back to, like, the 1940s during World War II. You had NFL players and MLB players eventually end up at the White House for winning championships after serving for 3-4 years. While during that time, they had people who weren't in the serving, playing those games, going during those years. To wish them back, like, I remember Ted Williams went a few times, and I know a bunch of the Yankees did because they used to always win it. Those guys definitely won, and they definitely served. They definitely were boots on the ground individuals serving. They got honored, and no political divide. It's not like it is today. And I agree with you. I think a lot of it is, people have no time in their hand. They just want to find a reason
supposed to bring us together, man.
Yes.
Politics divide us, but sports supposed to bring us together.
Dude, Ohio State fans should have been like, this is so cool. Our players, our team is at the White House.
Our team won the first 12-team playoff. Come on.
Not only that, but we won the first 4-team playoff, and those kids went to the White House as well.
Yeah, it's pretty great. We won the first year ever, and then the first year with this new format.
Yeah, no one can take that away from us. And that's another thing. Honoring accomplishments, going to the White House. Both teams got to do that. And I bet you back then, too. Actually, no, I think we won it in, 16? So that was... Actually, no, it was way earlier. Excuse me. That was like 20.
Shout out to the Buckeyes again. First to win the 12-team championship and the 4-team championship.
I know.
We're trendsetters.
Buckeye Nation. Buckeye football runs college football.
They need to just, in my opinion, get rid of the bowls altogether. And just make an actual playoff, like expand it. It should just be playoffs.
I think 12 was perfect. I think 12 was perfect. I think because you need individual, because here's the issue. You're going to get down to like these nitty gritty teams. Like Colorado is in a bowl game. They get absolutely boat race in a playoff game. It want to be fun. You had a 12-team playoff where people were pissed off that some teams got boat race anyways. Like,
well, because the 12, way they chose, is the
perfect number.
The way they chose those teams was like some of those teams should have never been there.
They were all deserving though. Like all those teams, like you're in the top 12. Dude, you have like Boise State and like another team not lose a game. They deserve to be in the playoff. They're a Power 5 school, and they deserve to be in the playoff.
Trashed.
And I know they're going to play in Ohio State, and they're going to get boat race. You know, that's just a difference in like the competition. But if you were to expand it, dude, D3 football has like a 32-team playoff. No team lower than a 10 ranked has ever won it, and the 10 ranked only won it for the first time like 2 years ago. For like the last 40 years, it was always any team in the top 4 won it. Like you knew how it was going to go, which makes this 12-team playoff interesting because we were like the 8 seed. We didn't even win our division.
It's becoming like March Madness now. You know what I mean? It's
yes. March Madness does it well. They have like bracket, an at-large team. But I think the bowl things are good because the universities and the programs and the conferences get that money. So you can't just get rid of the bowl system because Iowa's never going to deserve to actually be in the playoffs, and you can't say they're in the playoffs just to eliminate bowl games. Just give them one game because that's probably all they're going to win at best. But you know what? I mean, hell, if we're going to make predictions right now, who do you think is going to be at the White House next year?
Ohio State again, obviously.
I think Ohio State does have a good chance. I think Texas is going to be a big runner for it.
We destroyed Texas, though.
No, we won by 2 touchdowns. We got very fortunate with a late fumble recovery. But Texas is good. They're bringing back Arch Manning. I could see them having a good year. I think Ohio State's going to have a good year. I think Michigan's actually going to have a better year.
Alabama might bounce back.
I think Michigan.
Alabama might, but I don't know if their quarterback thing. Second year
coach,
that's
what I'm saying. They might bounce back this year.
Oregon too. I don't know if Oregon's going to be as good because they got a new kid, and I just don't know. But
I want to see what Nico is going to do. That transfer from Tennessee to UCLA.
He ain't going to do shit. He didn't do shit at Tennessee. He ain't going to do shit.
That's true, but you never know.
Personally, for him,
I think a chip on the shoulder for certain people is a great motivator. You know what I mean? Like they look for it, but we don't know.
Of that situation, Ricky, did you see that the UCLA quarterback then went to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Unreal, dude. This league. I love this league now. This transfer portal has made it so messy. It's made
a lot of people has been saying it. Like they just need to cap like the NIL for each school, like
there needs
5
to be
million
like a
or
salary
something. They need to
in
do
the
that
NFL.
Shit.
Yeah,
ASAP.
That's what they're working on. The hard part is like this was all just cobbled together by individual state laws saying that you could, and then it became like the NCAA kind of had like it was.
Well, the issue is like think of the MLB,
man.
Like right. Think of the MLB. It doesn't have a cap space, and it's like how are you going to implement that now? How are you going to go up to the New York Yankees and be like, you have the same amount of cap space now as the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Like, have a cap space on how much a school can directly give to the player. But whatever they make outside of that, it may be influenced by the school. Give him a little commercial. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But if you cap what the school can give, more player will have the mindset, all right, my team has this. I need this around me. And they'll learn more. It would be better for them to learn that moving into the NFL.
Yeah, and especially if anything, it'd be better incentive for the kids to not leave early for the NFL because it's like if I'm not drafted in the first round, I'm only going to make X amount of money. Whereas if I just stay at Ohio State another year, I'll make $5 million. You know, like it's a beneficial trade-off. The only problem is it only goes to a handful of players, and I think that's where like you're gonna have your offensive linemen want to go to the draft as early as they can. Just because they're gonna,
but if they have the cap at 5 million, they're gonna have to spread it. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to So everybody's gonna have the range, what they can make, and what team have it up. So like the transfer portal will be settled way before because money will be already out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'd be simpler.
Also, them opening, and I don't know if football does it. I'm sure football does it because I'm pretty sure in basketball it does it. Like the transfer portal open. No, I know it does in football because I know Michigan had a kid in the bowl game playing Alabama. He already declared he was entering in the transfer portal. Like he actually already entered the transfer portal and still got to play in the bowl game. So
I know it twice.
Yeah, you're still in the current season and you have the ability to enter the transfer portal.
That's
insane.
Crazy.
Because it opens like in December to like January, and then it's about to open again.
Ohio State or like any team that makes it far into the playoffs, you're still in season, and that portal is closing closer to the deadline. So almost the longer you play into the season, the less beneficial it is for you to utilize the portal. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. By the way, though, I still think Buckeyes at the White House next year.
Whoop, whoop.
I still think Buckeyes. Here's the thing, Doug. You mentioned like getting rid of bowl games, though. I could give you probably 6 of the 12 playoff teams right now. That's how sure, and that's probably how close it's going to be to.
We would probably all.
You're going to have Penn State. You're going to have Ohio State. You're going to have Alabama. You're going to have Georgia. You're going to have maybe like a Wisconsin if they have a good year. You maybe have like a Michigan. If Michigan has a good year, they'll make it in.
I want to be the team up north this year, bro. We've been 4 years in a row. 3 years in a row. They whooped their ass. We need to get a win. The team up
Michigan,
north.
Yeah, I mean, that's an ebbs and flows thing.
It's crazy that we lost to Michigan, like the unranked Michigan this year. Yeah, we won the championship.
Wild.
Wasn't that Ryan's day first loss against an unranked opponent?
Yeah.
It's good, but it's like still a bad taste going down.
And it was Michigan. It's like we would give him a pass if it was any other game throughout the year because we ended up winning. But he lost to Michigan, and that was just so unacceptable for us, dude, especially them winning it all.
Dude, we not only lost to Michigan, we then fought them on our field and then got invited to the White House.
Yeah, that's right. We got in a fight.
We got it all. We did everything we wanted to this year except beat Michigan. We fought Michigan. We lost to Michigan. Won a national championship. Got invited to the White House. And now half the country hates us because we accepted an invitation to a party.
It is what it is. Sometime when you're great, you're going to be the bad guy.
I will be honest, though, after watching President Trump's speech to the Ohio State team, I can almost just about guarantee that Will Howard and Jack Sawyer most likely voted for his administration. They had the biggest freaking smiles. Jeremiah Smith's smile was huge too, but they were like, "Come here, brother!" Like it was like Rogan at UFC events. It was like
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't even matter who they voted for. It doesn't even matter who they voted for because it's not because who you vote for goes there. It's their accomplishment, and that's what I'm saying. We just need to get back to you win a championship, you're to the White House. We don't give a f who you voted for or what you got going on, who you ticket on the ballot.
Now
you win, you get celebrated.
Do you think when this current administration is over in 3.5 years? Actually, more than 3.5 years. When 3.5 years, they definitely make it sound like it's already been 3.5 years, but 3.5 years when this administration is done and gone with, do you think then it will go back to how it used to be, or do you think it's irreparably done?
It's done.
I think it's irreparably done. It doesn't matter who's in there. Whichever team goes there, half the country's going to hate them. Dude,
teams might still go, but people are still going to be out.
Here's the thing. Speaking of teams recently that went and celebrated in 2020, the COVID year, the Dodgers won the World Series. That was the shortened year. Because of COVID, they weren't able to go to the White House. They accepted the invitation, but were unable to go. So it was like a month ago, probably even less now, still, the Dodgers got to go and celebrate their 2020 World Series win. Actually, it probably was a month ago. I bet you it was right before the season started. And they were all there, right? Trump, he had a speech like he did for the Buckeyes, kind of trash on other teams for instance, like Mookie Betts got brought up and he was just like, wow, Boston, what are you doing letting him go? Like, it's just kind of like he's having one of his typical speeches, making light of things, making jokes, people are laughing, having a good time. He brought in Shohei Ohtani, obviously, because it's Shohei Ohtani. He shakes Shohei Ohtani's hand, gives him compliments, says he looks like a movie star. And half the internet in America was pissed off that he shook his hand. So I got interested and I was like, I'm going to change where my global geolocation is and see what's trending in Japan during this time. And Shohei was trending. He was #1 trending. And they were so hyped that he met the president and shook his hand. Yeah, they were like so the opposite. Almost like how I would kind of hope it would be here, just in general. Like, dude, our guy got to meet the president and shake his hand. They were like so hyped. And every tweet I had to do like translate because it always looks so like angry and like the letterings, but it's just some saying nice stuff. They were all so hyped for Shohei. I was like, this is their hero. This is their hero. He's the best player in baseball, the best two-way player probably in the history of baseball. And they're like, oh my God, our Godzilla got to meet President Trump and he's having a great time and he got celebrated. And he said he's good looking like a movie star. I was like,
Stock goes
dude.
up.
Their people love that. They love that shit. It'd be like if Miami soccer team with Messi won it. They won the MLS Cup. And then like everybody from like Argentina, they're like, oh my God, got to meet the president. Wow, that's crazy. Like that's when I think it'd be cool. And that's what I think it should be. So I guess that's my wrapping thought. Like it's just like a little, it's not a big story. And again, we didn't want to get too into depth. We don't have the philosopher here. He's the one who really challenges our mind, and mainly we're just
makes us rethink.
We're just a bunch of dudes that just kind of complain about sports athletes and stuff mainly. So for me, this story just it it hit a nerve because it's the Buckeyes, and I saw so many Buckeye people going after, especially Jeremiah Smith, the hardest. And I'm just like, man, this is a kid who's excelling at what he's great at, and he looks like he's going to have such a great career at Ohio State. I pray for in the next level, but to just go at the kid and just be like so like vengeful and like disgust at him. Like, I used to be a fan of you and stuff like that. It's like, what are you doing? Like, come week 1 next year, or especially if we do beat Michigan and he has a huge game against them next year, all those people that were hating on him are going to be like, that's our guy, that's our Jeremiah. And I'll be like, yeah, I remember you tweeting so much negativity about him just because he shook someone's hand that you don't like. Unreal. Ricky, take it away. Take it away from me. Take the glass in my hand.
I totally agree. I wouldn't. It's not like the guy is a freaking masked killer or something. You know what I mean? Like, he's a president of the free world.
He could be. He'd be pretty good at it.
Well, I don't. I mean, physically, you know what I mean? Like, all presidents of America, all mass. Yeah, all of them. But it's like, what do you want them to do? It's the highest honor after winning your championship. You get to go to the one of the most secure buildings where the leader of the free world is. It's tradition. It's been before your time. It's going to be there after you. So why not just keep it going and everybody just keep the politics out of it, no matter who's in there? Like, keep the politics out of it. They're there for a tour because they won. That's it. Plain and simple. They didn't say, we're going because we agree with this guy and we love this guy. No, it's none of that. It's just a tour. It's a tour.
You know what? It's funny you say that. None of them said anything of that nature. And I'm sure Ryan Day said the same thing. He's like, dude, don't say anything. We're just going to go. We're going to have a good time.
It's just a tour. Yep. It's just an exclusive tour for football players or a champion.
Yep.
That's it.
We're here because we earned it.
Exactly.
That's simple. That's simple. I couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, Dougie Fresh in the corner. What do you think?
Like I said, I would go. I don't care who the president is. Like, first of all, you won a national championship. You did something very few do. So that's something awesome in itself. But then you're going to go to the White House, invitation to the White House for that. It's hard to get a tour of the White House. You got to like write your senator, and then you got to do background checks. Like, if you want to, there is a process, but it's hard. I would love to go to the White House. The history, all the rooms, like all the statues that are in there, the paintings. I mean, it's just full of history. Every inch of that is history. So yeah, I don't care. Like, even if I didn't like the president, you're invited because you're a national champ. That's what you should be celebrating, not who's there. It's the fact that your team was invited because you won. You know, I think it's really dumb to hate on all of them for it.
Doug, I would love for you to go there and like ask, like, I'm just imagining you're in there and like, Trump, can I like try out your bed real quick? Can I like just, is it Tempur-Pedic? Like, what do you got? What are you using here, man?
I want to
fly in here for you.
I want to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom because I want to see if Lincoln's ghost appears at night. That's mine.
Yeah, Doug shows up. He's like, President Trump, can I run a seance in the Lincoln bedroom, please? Can I bring out the Ouija board? Because I kind of, just me. I just want this intimate experience with him. Dude, I would be so afraid to touch anything though. If I went into that house, I'd be like, I'm not touching shit. I didn't touch nothing. I don't want my DNA on anything in here. Nothing. You can't get this. But all right, on to the last topic. It's mainly a topic. Doug sends us topics sometimes. We call them Doug's brain dumps. And he sends a bunch, and not many catch my eye, but one of them did. Because I thought it was so ridiculous. I Googled it myself to see if it was actually true. And it is true. And I didn't read it. I just wanted to make sure it was true. I finally read the story a little tidbit of it. Some UK London-based company, Tobey Carvery, which, again, like I said, I didn't look into this before other than this company, I guess. I thought it was a person. I thought Tobey Carvery carved a 500-year-old oak tree. Doug was polite enough to correct me and say that the company is named Tobey Carvery carved an oak tree, which still a restaurant, even freaking worse. They probably did that for some Sunday specials.
Well, it's probably like Bob Evans, man. We have Bob Evans. They have Tobey Carvery. So,
The local chain, Bob Evans, carved down a 500-year-old oak tree to make room for their flapjack breakfast on Sundays. You could go there. You could get the senior's discount. And people are pissed. They're rightfully pissed. Hell, even I'm pissed. I didn't even know this was an actual company or person, but it's a company. Carved down this oak tree, right? The only article I read about it, though, was that they apologized. And there was a quote there, as you can see, Doug pulled it up. That's the tree. Now, I know how you're able to tell how old a tree is. It's about the rings inside of the tree. But now that I'm looking at it, does it look like it's 500 years old?
I mean, it's got a pretty big base.
It's got a big base, but would you guess 500?
I mean, this is also in London, man. Do we know what London trees look like or grow like?
Probably trees, Doug, because the ones behind it sure as shit look like trees. So,
but why that weird cut right there? Like, they're still surrounded by a bunch of other trees. Like,
I wonder how high that thing went. I really wonder if it was like.
I mean, okay, it looks big compared to the other ones.
Wait, you're telling me they tore down? There's all those trees there. None of them else torn down, but only that tree is literally. You have a forest full of probably not 500-year-old trees, and you literally picked the one. What an idiot! What an idiot!
That's what I'm saying. Like,
how did you, dude? But luck on this dude. Buy a lottery ticket, dude, because apparently you picked the one out of all those trees. Can't see the trees through the forest. This dude was like, I saw the 500-year-old tree and was like, that's where I need my Sunday Slammer special and my freaking discounts.
Well, dude, and it gets like the article I read, it said like it was in danger of like falling on the restaurant or something. But like, apparently this land that it's on is like county-owned land, and the land is leased to this restaurant. So
did they ask for permission?
Exactly. That's like, it's like you cut down a tree on land that you lease. It's like, that's already kind of a gray area, I would think.
So if they were afraid it would fall in the restaurant, I'm assuming the restaurant's already built. So the restaurant is, I'm assuming, adjacent, or maybe even where that photo was taken.
It's there's another photo I saw. I don't have that one, where like the restaurant is like behind where this person's taking the picture.
I thought the restaurant was going right where that tree was going, like Ricky did. And I was like, they literally picked the one damn tree that happened to be 500 years old. Go on, Ricky.
Doug mentioned it, so it was at a risk of falling, because I was gonna like, doesn't all tree have to die someday? Like, doesn't all living thing comes to this end? If it's 500 years old, like, maybe it was about that damn time to cut the shit down. Like, how much longer do you want the tree to grow? Like, it's surrounded by a bunch of cousins. The roots spread out. Look, you got a whole family behind him, the whole legacy. It's all right, cut shit down if it was in danger of falling. Like, I don't get the big.
But then when the article too, though, it mentions that the city had the tree inspected, because this tree is like marked by the city because of how old it is, I guess. And so like they had it inspected in December and said it was perfectly healthy. So yeah,
dude, imagine getting that phone call. Imagine getting that phone call. You're a park ranger and you get the phone call that the 500-year-old tree got cut down by the rednecks.
Well. Act it out. I'm about to call you, Will. We'll act it out.
All right. Wait. You're making the call and I'm receiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey. Hello.
Hey, Sir William.
Hey,
so over here on the OT. Yeah, man. So you remember that restaurant over here, Carves?
Mm-hmm.
They cut down the oak tree. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They cut down the 500-year oak tree. And we're baffled over here, man. You need to get over here ASAP.
Define cut down the oak tree. They said they cut down the oak tree. I just sat down for tea. I got crumpets coming. You're telling me they chopped down the tree?
And my lord, I was having my tea and crumpets as well, William. Oh. And then, out of nowhere, I thought they was just going to carve off a couple. And no, I come over here, over here, and the tree's gone, man.
Oh, on Queen Mary's mother, I swear. All right, I'll be there shortly. Like, what an idiot. What an idiot. That guy who received that phone call, dude, you talk about literal panic. Dude, the hairs on his skin rose quicker than Jesus himself on Easter Sunday. Like, that must have been bizarro for him.
Yeah. And not even the ranger, like the scientist that's just been watching that tree grow, just preserving it, making sure everything is good, cut off all the dead limbs and shit. The city probably have a specific group, landscaping group for this tree. You know what I mean? You can't just have anybody on there hooking up this tree. And the company go hire someone and just cut it down. It's crazy, but it's 500 years old, bro.
People are getting so mad, Ricky. Some of the comments in this article, people are like, this tree belonged to us and it was our history. How dare they? We want answers. The people want answers.
The thing is, it happened in England.
I actually want to know what they do. I want to know if they're like
England get mad about every damn thing. They censor you. They ban you for everything. The tree was 5 years old.
Put some of those people in jail that said something about the tree.
That shit is like 6 generation old, bro. Like, what? It's Tobey.
Tobey Carvery Snarsbuck, dude. It is getting review bombed. This shit. Okay. How about you can eat? All right.
How long? Over or under? How much longer?
Home of the Sunday roast.
Yeah, they're known for their roast. The article said.
Honestly, Doug, I think you kind of nailed this. This is kind of like a Bob Evans. It's kind of like a Bob Evans. Let me take a look at the menu. I'm looking at a menu that's going to be the same shit.
So, do y'all think they will survive this?
I can't.
You don't know. That's honestly the better question. Because the better question isn't if the tree's going to survive this. Because that thing didn't make it.
No, the tree didn't. Obviously, the tree didn't survive this.
Tobey Carvery.
But is Tony Carvery going to survive this? Like, are they gonna plummet, or is just one restaurant?
They're gonna make it, dude. Look at this deal. You can't pass this shit up. Make the roast of it. That's what it says on the page. Choose 2 or 3 courses from $12.79 Monday to Friday. Add an extra course for just $2. That's not bad. It is Bob Evans, but that's not bad.
See, our Bob Evans got replaced by a First Watch, so
it did.
That makes me sad.
Which I'm whatever.
And Bob Evans is going through some trouble, so
they are going. So maybe Tobey Carvery's going to go through some trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be related to this 500-year-old oak tree. But I will say is
they should have trimmed the tree at least instead of just chopping the shit down.
Dude, the balls on that guy. You know that guy. He didn't care.
It was probably just like a district manager, like. It looks like it's about to fall. We need to call someone to cut it down. They don't know nothing about the leasing agreement, nothing.
No.
Just call the landscaper to cut it down.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I can understand why he'd want to chop down the tree, because as a business owner, I'm sure that shit's annoying. I'm sure as a homeowner, Alexander's probably going to come into this same situation where he wants to do something in his yard with some stupid land ordinance by some loser from across the street or next door to him. It's going to be like, well, that thing's kind of fundamental to me. Like, dude, wait, he's not even here. He can't even defend his treehouse story. That's a whole other one.
Oh,
I don't know
is a whole thing.
And I don't want to butcher that story, but he will gladly come back in 2 weeks and remember to tell that stupid story because it is funny. I can only imagine, but here I'm going to play devil's advocate. I would have let that damn 500-year-old oak tree fall on my building. Can you imagine the liability insurance you probably would have gotten? That payout would have, they would have been retired. They would have been retired. Not just a tree, the landmark tree fell on me.
You're a smart man, Will.
It's smothered an elderly one. Dude, I've watched The Sopranos. I know how they do that stuff. They could easily have sabotaged it.
You're a smart man, but my family always say, don't wish for like good to happen through something unfortunate, because that tree gonna fall on that day you didn't want it to fall, and they're gonna crush and kill your ass. You ain't gonna lose none of that money.
my master plan is for it to fall and land on someone else, but I happen to be someone else. No, I don't know. Like this story, Doug, you sent it to me, and Doug will find he will have days where he's kind of slow. A slow traffic Doug day is like 2 to 3 stories. Then he'll have a day where he'll put out like 10 to 12 in like the afternoon Doug's dump hour. Like 7 of them. So Alexander and I will be having a conversation at work, and it'll be like ding, 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 and it's just articles. This one caught me because I thought it was one man. I thought Tobey was the man. And 2, I just thought it was so funny because I was like, this is the problems that UK has. Alex and I, Doug, when you were out of town, we did a Sunday show, a live action reaction show to them being unable to identify an individual right? They couldn't figure out who this guy was. And that was like a big story in the UK. I remember
that, yeah.
And that's like a Tuesday for like an American.
No,
like,
that story.
We can't find this guy, and 2 hours on the internet later, it's like, he's right here. No. We don't even know. We know his name, where he's living. He probably had this for lunch too, because we saw him leave there. This is the kind of stuff that comes out of the UK. And I'm just like, over here, we have people pissed off at people shaking hands with an individual they don't like. It just seems so asinine to me.
A crazy world we live in, man.
It's an evil. Hey, to quote Future, it's an evil world we live in. Evil world we live in, man. It's just the buffoonery, the tomfoolery, the absolute baboonery of the news that comes out of it. But I'm going to switch to this next topic. And Doug, I talked to Alexander. I said we were only going to do 3 topics. I told you, but we're sticking to my 4th topic because I got spoofed by this topic because they were still so pissed about what we talked about last week about Blue Origin. So, Ricky, you'll love this. I didn't want to put this in the chat because it is a fake story. It is a fake story. Doug actually was the one who pointed it out to me. And then I felt like an idiot, but I rolled with it when Doug sent it. I was like, yeah, I knew it was a fake story. Doug, I lied to you. I did not know this is a fake story. So Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos, Dr. Evil, is sending up, it's not true, Dr. Evil, it's not true, a new crew apparently in a month. And the cast of characters, there were only 4 that really called my name, which I should have now, looking back, known it was fake, but it wasn't fake. It was completely fake. Tom Cruise was one of them. And I was like, well, he's got a movie coming out. He's got Mission Impossible, and Tom Cruise does crazy stunts, so plausible.
Yeah, that is
one of the Jenners. I think it was Kylie Jenner. So it brought me back to our conversation.
We had a conversation of which Jenner.
There's no way they're going to send up a valuable one. So it was fake, so I still might be right when they end up deciding to pick the actual star-studded one.
But right now, the story seems very true.
Right.
I like that.
The story has where Will was wrong was Kylie Jenner is going up on Blue Origin. 3 was most recently not guilty, Young Thug. He was slime. He was going up there. And then 4th, upon recently, your very own Cleveland Brown quarterback, Jameis Winston. Those were 4 of like the 6 or 7 that were going to go up there. And really, I should have known it was fake. That was so ridiculous. But
I can see Fox paying for Jameis Winston, but when he say Young Thug, then I would,
No, dude, Ricky,
because his probation don't allow him to. I don't think his probation gonna allow him to go to space.
Dude, Will's like telling me, he goes, "Here's my list of ideas," and one of them is like the new Blue Origin. And I like Google it, and all I'm seeing Blue Origin, new crew, or whatever, is just everything about the most recent launch, like nothing about a new crew. And I'm like, Will, I'm not seeing anything. Then he just goes, "Oh, it's a fake story."
Yeah. I was like, oh, they got me.
So where did you see that, Will? TikTok?
It was a tweet. It was literally a tweet.
Well, there's your first problem.
I saw the tweet and I ran with it. I ran with it like Forrest Gump running across the country.
That is not a reputable source.
That man, that Dr. Evil himself. Dude, I didn't even read the article. I just saw the 7-8 names. I was like, son of a bitch, they're doing it.
Was it Onion?
It wasn't the Onion. It wasn't the Onion. It was like, it had a blue check mark. I took it very seriously. I have a blue check mark on Twitter and I'm a stupid idiot. So I believed it.
Wait, dude, you pay for the check mark?
You're damn right. I pay for the check mark because one day, us at the Rethink Tank podcast are going to have a voice that is heard and recognized. And I
just had this debate last week in my household about blue check marks.
Yeah.
I just had this debate.
Dude, I can
about
have
blue check marks.
Any of us can have.
Is it worth it or is it not worth it?
For that tweet, that is insane. Yes, I will take the risk of the $10 a month or whatever it is for Daddy.
It's an investment.
Yes, it's an investment that has absolutely zero return. I'm actually $20 deep in the hole. But
not yet. Not yet. You gotta keep investing.
But that tweet got me, dude. I was so good, dude. I'm going on a rant right now, but I was about to go on. Doug, you were going to turn that light on for 25 minutes. I was about to go on a 50-minute rant on the fact that, dude, it wasn't, Young Thug going up didn't even bother me. It was Kylie Jenner and the fact that I was wrong on that. I was like, no way am I wrong that they were going to send her up for the other 2 spares.
Spares.
Young Thug. Once I seen Young Thug, I'd have been like, hold on. Slime ain't going to space right now, man.
Exactly
he needs to be instead of going to space, he needs to be in the fucking booth because we haven't got nothing from Trial. After Trial, we haven't got no new song.
Dude, I need a Jeffrey too. Bad.
I need something.
Dude, honestly, when I saw Young Thug, but he was right next to Jameis, and I was like, Slime, bro, like get him up there. Give him on his 15-minute trip. I didn't care. It was Kylie Jenner. That was what pissed me off, dude. I was like, we're talking about it.
It's not Tom Cruise. It's not Kylie. It's Slime.
Dude, that would have been a recurring theme of the week. I would have immediately started the show with that before we got.
Oh, Jameis. Yeah, Jameis. It would
have been 8:15 when we would have started the NFL draft. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I said my 500 pieces
and
on it.
I could see Jameis going. I can see Fox paying Jameis to go. Oh, Fox would pay the money because he's funny as hell. Like,
dude, that would be the guy I would want Jameis Winston and Tom Cruise and Young Thug in a capsule with a camera in the capsule launching. I wouldn't want Kylie Jenner there because that would just no reaction. But like those three, that would have been a pinnacle reaction. It would have been worth every penny. Gayle King and Katy Perry, sit to the side. This is pure entertainment. This would be pure entertainment.
If Jameis meet the aliens, bro. Yeah, I don't think the aliens gonna take us serious. I don't think the aliens gonna take us serious.
Dude, imagine the speech he would have given when he landed, when they asked him what he thought about.
Now listen, you're about to come to Earth.
I'm above. I'm not even. I'm
crazy
not even
hair, crazy.
I'm just a humble man.
I'm just a humble man. But once you get down there's crazy here, crazy there. You know, you gotta be clear.
Dude, he would have said something ridiculous too. He's like, I don't know what Katy Perry said. He said there's no borders up there, and I can literally see the borders. I'm like, that's there, that's over there. There's one over here. Like, it would have been so funny. It'd have been so funny. Oh my god, dude, the NFL would have got in on that.
And you know the funny thing is, most places that has like borders, most of the land ain't no border. Like, he can't see the border on the ground either. Like, can't he? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, you could be walking, you could be taking a hike and end up like in Canadian wilderness and be like, oh, my
exactly, yep.
My bad. Oops, didn't mean to be here.
Sorry.
Actually, Doug, real quick, put the camera on you. I want to know what kind of shirt you're wearing today.
Oh, what am I wearing?
Is it Cavs?
Rally together.
See, Alex, that's the Block C. I know you're still watching. That's the Indians Block C.
It's Indians, baby.
But you're not here today, so I don't know. It's a Guardians t-shirt. This oversized bag that I'm wearing. You're not here, man. This is a new year, new me. This is a new year, new me.
Go Tribe.
Go Tribe, baby. Go Tribe.
Like, why would they change that, bro? Tribe, like, bring people together. We're a tribe.
Right? Tribe is a group of people. It's not specific to Native American. And we should have just been called the Cleveland Tribe.
Yes, honestly, I wanted us to just be the Cleveland baseball team, so we all just could continue to say stuff like that, and no one could say a word to us. No one could say
that. Would have been crazy. Would have been a tribe. That would have been right.
Yeah. So, all right, folks. I know this isn't how the show usually goes, but you know what? With the Skeleton Crew, we had to make the best of our opportunity. Our fearless leader, Alexander, is still tuned in out in Spain. He's probably still living off that concert high that 21 Pilots only knows how to provide. I think on this podcast, I'm sure he's in agreement too. We need to get a 21 Pilots to the Super Bowl.
Yes, 21
individual thing kind of moving. I think Ohio kids.
I'll hit up Jay-Z for y'all. I'm gonna hit up Jay-Z tonight and see what we got next year. See where the Super Bowl is. You know what I'm saying?
Give him that British accent.
I'm articulate. I'm line it up. Articulate what y'all want. That up.
I think we should be the official 21 Pilots to the Super Bowl podcast going forward. Try to get that.
And it's sad because y'all like Alex love 21 Pilots so much. I probably only know one 21 Pilots song.
Dude, we gotta get you hip to it. We gotta get you hip to it, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, if you want to get a good break into them, just Google 21 Pilots recent tour.
I'm gonna say this:
set list,
Clancy.
The whites deserve a good Super Bowl show. You know what I mean? You need to bring a good white back for the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
They honestly would be the perfect
y'all deserve it. Y'all gave us a couple years strong. You know what I mean? Y'all made come out here and show niggas this shit. Like the whites deserve a nice Super Bowl show this year. You know, it could be Taylor Swift.
Yep. Taylor said, no. 21 Pilots, baby. Doug and I saw them. And Alex was there like a month and a half ago. They did a halftime or intermission show
hockey thing.
Second period at the hockey game. They were fantastic.
Oh,
they were honestly really good.
Awesome.
They were really good. And I've seen like full concerts from them before. But you know what? Wrapping up, we want to thank you guys, the listeners, participating in our chat. We appreciate you guys every week tuning in. We try to bring you the best of what we can, even when our fearless leader is not here. We just want to come, have a good time, have a little bit of conversations. You know, not as much of a meaty conversation, but I think we got some good points across. Ricky, tell them where they can find you at.
Hey, Just Another Day TV, man. I got part 2 dropped 30 minutes ago, man. Go on Just Another Day TV. Check it out. We outside in the video. We outside here. We always outside, me and Dougie Fresh. You feel me?
Right on, right on. Show Big Ricky some love. Doug, say your rapping thoughts to the fans real quick.
My rapping thoughts are, this was a fun show without Alex. When the cat's away, the mice get to play.
I like that. I like that.
Yo, Doug and these old proverbs. I love it.
All right, guys. And in typical Alexander fashion, I guess I'll give you the typical send-off. Have a nice week. Be happy. Go Browns. Next week, I'm sure we'll kind of touch back on who we ended up picking and where we screwed up, because we will. But besides that, enjoy your week. Be safe and peace.